fix this. Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a preview. Gonna do it earlier today because no time later today. And actually, Allegri just spoke, so it's a good thing. He just spoke to the media, and I need to give him credit because he's playing with the media right now. He's having a field day with the media because he knows what is going to happen very, very soon. You know, he knows it's basically the end of him at the club. I think he fully grasps that, and he's having fun with the media. He's saying things that makes probably a lot of journalists question certain things. You know, what they possibly have written in the past. You know, that's one, and two, he is putting some question marks in the minds of fans, and I will go over what he had to say. But we play Torino tomorrow, who are having a better season than I could have imagined. If I'm being completely honest, I think they're not easy to beat. I know they conceded 3 last week. I think it was to Empoli. Was it Empoli? They conceded 3 goals. They're a bit up and down in terms of that, but in general, I think Torino are a pretty solid side. And at the end of the day, it's still a derby. I cannot recall going away to Torino and make it look easy. It's always a scrappy win. If we win, it's always maybe late, or it's a very cagey game where it's not that there are a lot of chances in those games. Usually, especially away to Torino, like I said, uh, is the audio weird? Because that's very strange. Um, if the audio is weird, let me know. Then I need to switch it up really quickly. Let me see. One sec. Can people hear me now? Because I'm not at home, so I need to do it on the fly. But yeah, the difference is compared to last season. The difference is that um, we need to win now. We absolutely need to win to put away the pressure. I know Allegri said in the presser, we beat Fiorentina, who was basically quote unquote a direct rival, which they're not. They're miles off top four, so I'm not sure what he was talking about in that regard. But other than that, going away to Torino is like for them it's the biggest game of the season. Like they don't have really anything to play for right now. He already did his presser. He just finished it like 10 minutes ago. I finished watching it. Excuse me. But Torino have nothing really to play for. This is Torino's biggest game. You know, when we talk about it's the biggest game for Fiorentina, it goes to a different level because Fiorentina still play for European places, or they try to play for European places on a regular basis. For Torino, it's basically uh, different. You know, it's for them. It's a derby. You know, that's the game because you usually don't qualify for Europe, so they will be ready for that game, and they will um, be up for it because they also know that we are not good. Like, we're not a good team right now. I know we won 2 games in a row, which sounds very basic, but for us right now, it's unbelievable. You know, 2 wins in a row, coming off 1 in 9, basically. So it is a different type of feeling for us now. Allegri spoke to the media, and what he had to say, and he didn't have a lot to say, to be honest. He had, I don't know, Mark, but it is what it is. Usually I'm at home. I'm not at home on Fridays because that's my day off, so I'm not sitting at home. I have other stuff to do. So I'm doing it on the fly. If you don't like it, don't tune in. It is what it is. But he didn't have a lot to say, Allegri, in his presser, actually. He had very few words. He has the usual words as of reaching our goals, the goals the club set out for the future, basically. Um, and that's about it, And then he spoke about, I still have some doubts between Kostic and Junior and Cambiaso and Wea, I think it was. But what he did say was that it's important that we qualify for Champions League, also because next season we could have had more fun, basically. And I was like, he knows what he's doing. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, that's it. So he knows what he's doing with the media right now because he's playing with the media. He's basically saying that if we get Champions League football this season, next season could be more fun. But we know that he's not going to be here next season, or like that's the general consentence that he's not going to be here next season. But he is approaching the media with the idea of, hey, if the club wants me out, it needs to come from them. I'm not leaving. I want to stay. If they have something that is not up for them, if they don't like what I'm doing, then good. And a couple of hours before the presser, funnily enough, I read an interview from Gaglione, who didn't speak on Juve for once, but he said, you know what, I think Napoli should be going for Thiago Motta. He never speaks on nothing other than Allegri and Juve. But funnily enough, now um, he comes out, and hey, Rick, and everybody in the chat. Now he comes out and he says, you know what, I think Napoli should be going for Thiago Motta because he knows, what's going on right now. He knows what is happening with Allegri. He knows that it's basically done. It's the end of the cycle. So the pressers from now until the end of the season from Allegri are like pre-game pressers, are going to be extremely boring. They're going to be extremely, uh, you know, in line with the previous pre-game presser. Like he's not going to change tunes. He's going to say the same things. Qualifying for Champions League was the main goal. Reaching the Coppa Italia final was the goal, and that's about it. And when he will be asked about his media, about his future, he will switch it up. He will switch it up, and he will say, "Let's see. If we qualify for Champions League next season, we can do better things." But he's not going to be here next season. Like there's no scenario right now that suggests that he's going to be here next season. Actually, every single scenario out there suggests that he's absolutely not going to be at the club next season. Like there's not a single journalist out there who still believes that he's going to be here. Even Tutto Sport, who were campaigning for him still to say that it's not done. Everybody can say it's over, but it's not really over. Even they are coming to the conclusion that it's gone. Like something broke, it's completely gone. And somebody, is it Elias, if I pronounce that right, said, what do you think about Elkan's ladder? I think Elkan's ladder yesterday kind of confirmed what we were all suggesting, or what we were all thinking, but never was confirmed, that Giuntoli is in total control. Because he said, I know he said certain things that kind of rattled the fans, and one of them was, this is year zero. You don't want to hear that as a Juve fan, not me, not you. But the reality is, we need to start from scratch. Like we need to start over completely again, or like completely. Like we have some good players. Some of them are not performing. That's a fact. But I think a lot of you are like, okay, we need to give him a new shot with a new coach, because it's too easy to just throw that away right now, and it's too much to overhaul. If we even need to replace those players we actually potentially do like and have certain talents. So that being said, that's one. Two is that if Motta comes in, or if Conte comes in, or Palladino, or Italiano, name it, insert a name, he will look at what we have, or like he will look at what Allegri has put out there, and he will say, what is this? There's nothing we do well. Like there's nothing when people say, "Oh, defensively we're good," that doesn't mean we have a good backline. That means the work rate is incredible, but that goes to show up front. When players are frustrated, when players lack ideas, when players struggle to score goals. Look at Di Maria. He's fit at Benfica. He has double figures in goals and assists, and people will say, "Oh, it's Portugal," and like a player can never win. But that's the difference. Look at Alcaraz. He comes in, his agent speaks, and he's like, "Man, it's crazy." He picks up an injury he never had in 2 years and a half. These are not things, quote unquote, normal. It like if you add all these things up, something is wrong. That's two. But again, if the coach comes in, he will not say it's a good back line. It's not a good back line. Yeah, we sit back so deep and we defend as a team, then yeah, you grind out result. And yes, you need discipline in that regard and some good players, because if Luton does that or Burnley does that, which they don't, by the way, but if Burnley, excuse me, they do it, and I think everybody is like, well, this is crap. And unless you're a Burnley fan, you're like, yeah, whatever, we're staying in the Premier League. So we don't have a good back line. Midfield can control nothing. We cannot keep possession. We stink on the counter attack. There's no patterns of play. It's just put it up to Vlahovic, lay it off to the wing backs, whatever, and go from there. That's how we play. So whoever comes in, I need to restart that. On top of that, they need to, insert new players. So it's a new thing. But what Alcon said for the first time, I think, is Juntali. And he said it with those words. Juntali has been chosen basically to kickstart this new quote unquote adventure, new journey, winning cycle, whatever you want to call it. So it's the first time actually that Alcon spoke about it. We all kind of suggested that, yeah, he chose Juntali, he put him in total control, and it was like, you figure it out, basically. That's what we all thought, and that's what now is actually happening as well. So, that's that, I guess. But on Allegri's side, on the presser, he didn't have much to say, actually. He had very few words. Like I said, tomorrow, you need to win. You need to win. I don't know how we're going to win. Like, I'm not confident at all that we're going to win, and I will go into the prediction and predicted lineup or potential predicted lineup. I don't know how we're going to win. I don't believe we're going to win because, like I said, going away to Torino, I hate those games. They will play us hard, as they should, and we're not in a good moment. Like, I know we won against Lazio. I thought that was a deserved win. We controlled the game from start to finish. It wasn't spectacular, but you did what you had to do. Against Fiorentina, we scraped it at the end, and I know an presser, Allegri said, "Oh, their first shot came late," and I was like, "You got absolutely dominated. You can get away with it a couple of games, but you can see it collapse. At one point, it collapsed, and that's why we're in this situation right now. I don't know who Bologna played. I don't know who Roma played, to be honest. I don't know who Atalanta played this week, but I've seen Atalanta smoke Liverpool yesterday, and is anyone, and everybody's praising that. Oh, he had 35% possession, or what was it? 36% possession against Liverpool. If you watch that game, those percentages means nothing. On top of that, Liverpool were always going to have possession. No matter who they play. They can play Arsenal at home. They will have the majority of the possession. Or City at home. They will have that. The difference is the chances Atalanta created were clear-cut, pure quality chances. They were well drilled. The counterattacks were spectacular. Everything was set up well. That's why they won. Forget about stats. If you watch that game, they created more than enough to win that game. I don't know, 2-5, whatever you want to call it. So that's that. We don't do that. We don't do that. So what we did against Fiorentina, fine. We took that chance in the first half, and that was about it. That's it. So I don't have confidence going into tomorrow. So my prediction for tomorrow as well is 1-1. I don't think we're going to win. I think we just need to hope that the other teams start dropping even more points. Bologna, Roma, Fiorentina. And you need to hope that fifth place is going to be a Champions League spot as well, which is very likely. Right now, it's almost 100% certain. So that's that. I'm so tired of garbage counterattacks. The players have no clue what to do. Look at the team like Man City and the counters. And I agree, like Man City, they have more quality. I get that. But the idea is very clear. Our idea is clear, but it's poor. Like, we play a very horrible style of football. Rabiot needs to hit the exit door. What a waste of money. Real Madrid is a football club, not Juventus. We're just a business, not a football club. Right now, we need to become a football club. Like, we talk. How many times do we come on these shows and we talk about finances? I don't think if you go on a Man City channel or a Liverpool channel or a Real Madrid channel, they're talking about finances. You know, it's so bad that Chesney comes out post game and talks about finances. Like, it's insane. But it is what it is, I guess. The predicted lineup. The predicted lineup is Chesney in goal. It's Danilo. It's Bremer. And then I saw the reports about it's Gatti or Rugani. I think it's gonna be Gatti. Allegri said it's way out or Cambiasso. There's no way you're gonna bench Cambiasso because I think the fan base will actually hunt you out that day. You know, they will. So Cambiasso will probably start. McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot. I think Kostic. I don't think he's gonna play Junior. And up top, I think it's gonna be Chiesa and Vlahovic because Chiesa is fit, or like he had a little knock or something. But he's fit. So that's basically the lineup. It's gonna be the same as last week, in my opinion. And I've said it so many times. I don't agree. Like, I want to see Yildiz in there more and whatever. But for the final 8 games, it's pointless to talk about tactics and I'll play a 3-4-3. It's totally useless. It has no sense right now. It makes no sense right now. Excuse me, because you just need to win. How? Nobody knows. At this moment in time, nobody knows how you need to win. You just figure it out. Like we figured it out against Fiorentina. We won. We took the points. We took advantage of Atalanta losing, of Bologna dropping points. It's sad, but it is what it is, and we kept it moving. That's how we played. That's how we need to do it from now until the end of the season. You know, so Yildiz not starting, it is what it is. You know, or not playing, it is what it is right now. But I just need to win. I need the Champions League. We all need that Champions League because you don't want to go into the market with absolutely no money to spend again. Like that's crazy. This is going to be the closest there will be in a while. We will struggle badly. Need to scrape the 5th spot, sadly. And actually, we're like 9 points clear, or like are we 12 points clear of top or of Atalanta with their game in hand? So 9, like it's ridiculous because they're like 7. Are there 7 games left? I think 7 games. Like, and when you play Cagliari, you play Salernitana, you play Monza, you play Roma and Bologna head to head. So even if you take points, like it shouldn't be really in question, but it is because I also watched Roma last night and the transformation they had compared to Mourinho with the same squad, the same players Mourinho had. That's how Roma look. And people will tell me it's not the coach or it's a fluke. I don't know if it's a fluke. Nobody knows if it's a fluke, if the Rossi will completely collapse next season. What we do know is that he had an impact on the team. The way they play and the players' response. Because they play a completely different type of football compared to Mourinho. And it's the same players. It's the same squad. So again, I don't know if Roma will collapse. I don't know if De Rossi is going to be a good coach. But what I do know is that he's doing a much better job than Mourinho was doing at this moment in time this season. In the same season with the same squad. Some certain players look like different players out there. Again, like when people think it's not coaching, like even a negative mindset or style of play doesn't help. Like you can see Vlahovic how he's frustrated, Chiesa, Di Maria last season, and now he's tearing it up in the at Benfica. Like these things matter. Like they're out there for a reason. You know, they're out there for a reason, and people want to ignore that. Again, if you tell me the players are not good enough, some of them, I agree. I agree. 100%. But certain players are being held back. I'm sorry. Roma seem to be more ambitious than us. We're in the mud. What? Yeah. Yeah. They make the change again. They were completely off, and now they're in the hunt, you know, and maybe in the driver's seat to get top 4 as well. So they made the right decision for sure. But like I said, I'm not at home, so I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. Preview usually not doesn't take long, so I will be back live tomorrow post game with a reaction. Hopefully, we won, so we can have a smooth sailing week ahead towards. Who do we play? We probably play another away game. Is it Cagliari? I'm not sure. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Like the video if you're rewatching. Like the video on the way out. Again, instead of complaining, I'm not at home, so it's improvising. And yeah, man, thanks for watching. See you guys. Ciao.